And coming from the Daily Sun newspaper, I have this caption: cash scarcity. NLC set to cripple CBN offices as 1 week ultimatum elapses today. Union says no going back, begins mobilization of members. Apex Bank instructs banks to collect old Naira notes deposited with CBN. Official. Still coming from the Daily Sun newspaper, I have this caption: election, we are collecting information to punish offenders, UK. INEC declares Oti Mba winners in Abia, Enugu. Senate President, we want Kalu to douse tensions in Southeast Group. Kyari orders loose bid to quash drug trafficking charges. Outcome of elections justifies Biafra agitations, coming from IPOB. From the Vanguard newspaper, INEC used third-party devices to switch results for Tinubu. Atiku alleges Tinubu's appointee controlled INEC's ICT unit on election day. Alleges third-party device installed. No server failures as claimed by INEC. Full results not uploaded before declaring winners. Tinubu didn't get 1/4 of FCT votes. That all those ones are coming from Atiku from the Vanguard newspaper. Drug trafficking charge. Court declines to stop Abba Kyari's trial. SDG on water. Nigeria may miss 2030 target. UNICEF. Tinubu not qualified to be sworn in as president. Coming from Dirty Ahmed. We take actions against electoral violence instigators, coming from UK government. And I move forward to the Nigerian Tribune newspapers. NIC to embark on nationwide strike over Naira scarcity. Directs workers to protest at CBN offices Wednesday. That's next week. More Naira notes as banks get old notes deposited with CBN today. Tinubu out of country to observe rest, perform lesser Hajj. VAC, federal government, states, local governments shared 722.677 billion naira for February. I am most experienced for Senate President. That one is coming from Akpabio. February 25, presidential election not conducted in accordance with Electoral Act 2022, Atiku. Sultan confirms today, first day of Ramadan. Tutors world population may face water shortage by 2050. FAO warns. And now to Guardian. I have this caption: Atiku to tribunal, declare me winner or order rerun. Declare me winner or order rerun. Coming from Atiku. I proceed to the New Telegraph. From the New Telegraph, I have these captions. Polls. UK moves against politicians undermining democracy in Nigeria. Compiles names of corporates for visa ban. Labour Party wins Abia as INEC declares Oti governor-elect. Sultan declares today, first Ramadan. Lagos Guba, how Sanwo-Olu defeated Adediran Rosevivor. Court revisits Kyari's application seeking to stop drug trafficking trial. Baba Ahmed, Nigerian officially in state of constitutional crisis. Guba, Assembly Post suffered over 3 million cyber attacks. Pantami. Buhari creates panel to resolve Obalende prayer grant ownership in Lagos. Oil prices fall ahead of Fed announcements. APC suspends Secretary to the Government of Federation, SGF, Boss Mustafa, indefinitely for losing polling unit to PDP. Cash scarcity to his as banks collect old notes from CBN today. And quickly I move to this day newspaper. No compliance with Electoral Act invalidates Tinubu's election. Article tells Tribunal. Also coming from Leadership newspaper, I have this. In 20 years, Peter Obi alters shape of Southeast politics. Labour Party records first win in Abia governorship election. PDP slim wins in Enugu takes party closer to extinction. And coming from the Daily Trust newspaper, I have this caption. CBN releases mopped up old notes to banks today. From the Daily Asset, the airlines reads Article 6 court declaration as 2023 presidential poll winner. Tinubu not qualified to contest election, ex-vice president. U.S. vows sanctions against polls saboteurs. INEC declares Oti winner of Abia Guba poll. NSC calls nationwide strike over cash swap policy. It is my pleasure at this juncture to welcome my guest on the program, Mr. Kayode Adebisi, a legal practitioner. You're welcome on the program. Yes, NSC calls nationwide strikes over fuel scarcity and lingering naira crunch. How do you react to the position of the labor union?
It's a good position, but it's belated. They ought to have done this before now. After all, Nigerians have been suffering from this cash policy since February, more than 2 months now. So, but be that as it may be, I think it will also serve as a deterrence to the CBN that they should not continue in this kind of suppressing Nigerians about their own property, including on their privacy. So, because as of now, people are still going at the banks, even after the election or the last election. So, it should stop.
Even despite the court order.
That's why the Supreme Court judgment, they are yet to see the reason why they should comply. So this is to call for national disturbance.
Don't you think that the labor union has been pushed to the wall? What areas do you think the issue is affecting them?
Yes, they have been pushed to the wall, but not now. We have other countries where the issue does not even get to this level before you see societal disturbance, rebellion. So why over 2 months? Many people have died. Many people could not access their money, and so many businesses have been paralyzed. Are government ready to compensate them? Not just apology. I think they should also institute an action in court, a class action, asking for billions of compensation from the federal government and CBN. That will serve as that we are really a nation and not a banana republic.
All right, thank you. CBN to flood banks with old Naira notes today. How will you react to that?
The money are already there in the banks. It's only that Nigerians, they are somehow, let me say that we are docile, but they have the spirit of it go better, it go better. Before now, in some other countries, they will have bombarded and invaded various banks. They will have been social ula balu. But because of the fact that people believe much in religion than taking to practice, they examine their own life practically. That are we suffering or are we enjoying? We have our own resources. So, better that is made, I hope that such a thing should not repeat itself. And even the Mr. CBN governor should be ready for prosecution. Because you have a case to answer as to why and the reason why he subjected many Nigerians to untimely deaths and social and family dislocations in Nigeria. It has never been heard of. Despite several warnings and treaties, he still remains adamant on going on with this policy. So later, Mr. President tried to isolate himself, to free himself that he was not the one that said he should not comply with the Supreme Court judgment. So definitely he will be on his own at the end of the day. He will be on his own.
All right. Let's move to election-related matters. Election, we are collecting information to punish offenders coming from UK. How do you see their intervention?
They have been collecting information for several years. What benefits or what deterrents have Nigerian government, Nigerian politicians suffer? They have not suffered anything, whether even buying them from their visa or going to the US. Once they have been able to get to power, that would be their ultimate end. So, to me, at the end of the day, who are the names that will be collected? We will still raise by us about the report, about the election violation. They will say it's lopsided, there is only this particular group that are there. So that's a Nigerian for you. So the best thing is for the government of the day to ensure that the real criminals, they are brought to justice. Not just this talk going about maiming people, but their sponsors, they are the real criminals. If they have not been given assurance, these talks have not been given assurance, they would not have been having that their devilry and that tenacity and bravery to commit the like robbery, snatching buses, disrupting election processes.
All right. From the Nigerian Tribune, I also have these captions. February 25th, presidential election not conducted in accordance with Electoral Act 2022. That one is coming from the presidential candidate, one of the presidential candidates who lost. Do you agree with him?
Once you have filed your petition, I think both of you filed on 21 days. I mean, yesterday,
okay,
the last day. So you don't need to comment again. You don't have the right to comment on matter that's already before the court. So it is sub judice.
So that action is on court.
You have the court process to take it its course.
Okay. Polls. UK moves against politicians undermining democracy in Nigeria. In what areas do you think UK can help to enhance democracy in Nigeria? Do you think their action won't check the excesses of some political or some politicians?
That's why I said if it's a politician that lost the election, that one will be sanctioned. Maybe he has a stake or business interest in the UK. But the one that has been able to get to power, you also relate. You have the rapport with this UK and have their business partnership, official business partnership with them. So how can they punish such a position? So it's not going to be punished.
Then what do you think the country should do to?
That's why I said there should be sanctions.
Okay.
How many people have been brought to court? How many people have been charged and convicted? Not just these ordinary Nigerian citizens, the thugs. But I mean the report is how many of them have been arrested? Even the one they allege that he killed somebody, you have been given bail. That way some will still come back to the National Assembly and to legislate for us.
All right, APC suspends Secretary to the Government of Federation, Boss Mustafa, indefinitely for losing polling unit. What's your take?
It's a media sensation.
Is that not interesting, or what do you think?
It's a media sensation.
Okay.
Just
how?
He must have committed another anti-party offences.
Okay.
There are many of them that lost polling units. So you cannot isolate only one ADF and you say you suspend indefinitely. No. Even the governorship election and presidential, there are some other big wigs that lose their polling units. So it is not the new one, it's not the first, but he must have committed other serious infractions against the party constitution.
All right. NSC, that is from most of the newspapers, even including the Nigerian Tribune. NSC to embark on nationwide strike over Naira scarcity. Direct workers to protest at CBN offices Wednesday. More Naira notes as banks get old notes deposited with CBN today. If this proposed strike is allowed to hold, what do you think might be the consequences on the nation, even the economy?
Yeah, it will have both positive and negative. But I will also still encourage them to continue, because they should not rely on the fact that CBN is now planning. When they announce that they are going on strike, that they are now planning to release.
Okay.
That release itself is put on quote and unquote from the newspaper we can see on the screen. That means the money is already there with the CBN. Even in Osogbo here, we still find the money there already. So if they go on with the strike, then they will now ensure that actually whether or not CBN has complied with their demand. But if they backtrack now, they may even lure them and not comply again. So it will paralyze the economy, but at the end of the day, it will be for the benefit of Nigeria.
All right. There's this caption also on food insecurity risk. It is on the increase. Is it not a threat to human survival in the country?
Well, all over the world, I just read of the UK inflation being raised to about 24%. So it's a global problem, economy, and distress.
Okay.
To gear our effort towards a local massive production. In fact, that should be the first agenda of every government, every elected political officer. How are we going to gear my local production, agricultural development? Because there is no way you can continue to import at the end of the day at the point of loss to the government. We have the resources, we have the manpower, we have everything, but it's the implementation. So, and an hungry man is an angry man. If there is no food, it will cause a lot of.
Don't you think that the issue of food insecurity is unconnected with the cash crunch in the country?
Cash crunch is another thing. Insecurity of food is caused majorly by our government cluelessness. Because over the year they will say they are budgeting this for that in agriculture, but people are not seeing the effects.
But now farmers need money to embark on farming activities and
farming activities itself, without the security of the life and property, the kidnapping, the maiming, the banditry, all those things are still there. People are having fear for their life. You cannot stay in an acres of land in a very silent place for long. People can come and kidnap you or kill you. So if all those factors are not taken into consideration, even if you invest in agriculture, if you don't yield the expected maximum profits. So security of life and of people and property should be the primary duty of the government. Every other thing follows. So that if you are able to produce at the maximum capacity, then our GDP also will grow. Our domestic product will grow, and we'll be able to export.
All right. I deem it right at this juncture to draw curtains on today's edition of Newspapers Today. Special thanks to you viewers for being there with us on the program. Join my colleagues tomorrow at the same time for another edition of the program. Well, I also appreciate our guest, Mr. Kayode. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you, sir.
Do have a lovely working day.
شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر
amassed a fortune that outraged a democratic nation, then gave it away, reshaping America. They were the closest